I'm sitting here without a beat, looking at all the trees. I got my bro to my right. He's so damn tight. He smiles bright, and it's so white. We look into the sky. We so high on life. Oh, now I need a hug from my guy to the right.
Okay.
All right, what's up? I forgot what the third word was.
Now we're getting sus.
Okay.
When you said you got my bro to the right, and I was like, when are you gonna bring in hug?
All right. All right.
Probably cut that.
Welcome back to the show, Respectfully Inspired with Aussie Films. I like to start every episode by explaining my why behind the show. And my why is that I want to inspire you all to invest in soul wealth. So not the classic wealth, which is building up your money, possessions, and achievements, but soul wealth, which is investing in your relationships and creating memories. What are people going to say about you when you die? That's how I like to explain it. I'm here with my guest, Jack. He is a respected DJ and retired YouTube blogger.
Howdy, everybody.
He's one of my best friends, one of the people I look up to most.
Dude, Aussie, thank you for having me on the podcast.
You're welcome, bro. Thank you for coming on. The first topic I want to talk about.
Wait, can I preface this
Yeah.
fast by just saying one thing?
Yeah.
You caught me at a really good time to come on a podcast,
Why?
because I think if you took me a year ago,
Yeah.
I would have been so like stuck in my head, even 6 months ago, just like really stuck in my head, thinking about like, oh, the first 10 minutes you'd be so good.
Yeah.
I need to be perfect, because at that time I was doing a lot of YouTube stuff. We're gonna dive into a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just feel so good internally, and everything comes from within instead of on the outside. Back then I used to look a lot for validation.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, honestly, don't really, can you curse on this spot?
Yeah. You.
I don't give a fuck about what people think.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, we're out in nature.
You curse, but not in the first minute.
You're right. You're right. You're
Just
right.
kidding.
No, I just kind of dropped all those things, and I look at what it is from within. It is what it is. And so you want to explain where we
Yeah.
are?
So we're literally in the Hollywood Hills on a trail. There's people everywhere.
When
And
people think Hollywood Hills, they actually think like mansions is really cool shit. But like, this is actually the cool shit.
yeah, we're literally just on a nature trail. And Jack prepared me to give you guys a little perspective of our relationship. I was a YouTube vlogger, and I looked up to Jack a lot. Like, I just saw him as a better vlogger than me. And even before I prepared this podcast, he talked to me, and he just put me in that mindset that it doesn't matter. We're here to have a good conversation. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't like it, it's okay. And I actually think that you will like it more because I don't care if you like it, if that makes sense. But it's almost like, yeah, we both had an issue with like hyper analyzing, focusing on how is the audience going to take this? How are they going to perceive this? I would probably be 6 months ago. I would say, let's restart this, bro. This is like, we're behind. We haven't
Yeah, I
talked
would have
about
done the same way.
But you know, I'm going to leave it in. I'm going to leave that shitty freestyle in. I'll leave it all in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
And anyway,
That was a little bit cringe, but no, it was good. There was heart in it.
but you know, it's cringe, but I did it on purpose because if you start off the episode with something that makes you uncomfortable,
Yes.
then it's like, I'm not worried for the rest of the episode. If the people clicked off because of that,
Yeah.
that was the most cringy thing you're going to get.
You
all
also
episode.
walked into my apartment today, and you drove like 2 hours to come here. Also, thank you for that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. You drive to support me a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ozzy came by. He came to my apartment, and he's like, "All right, you ready to film the podcast?" And he's like ready to set it up. I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
let's go on a hike."
Hey,
So we just went up to the Griffith Observatory and like just looked out over LA, and now we're setting up a podcast about
Yeah.
an hour and a half later. So
yeah, and I'm wearing all white.
expect the unexpected, Ozzy.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get into
Yeah, let's do it.
the first thing I had planned, which was reaching up versus reaching down.
Ooh,
Yeah. In this world, there is this, I think me and Jack are both entrepreneurs, we're both creators. And there's this notion that you always should reach up, that I should reach up to find the most successful YouTuber to collab with. I should get the biggest guest on my podcast. I need the best businessman on my team. And that people, and I 100% believe in the quote, you are a product of the 5 most people you surround yourself with. But I think that a lot of people in this world get so obsessed with reaching up and being with someone more successful than them. And I actually believe that the most successful people on earth reach down and they help people below them. And that is far more valuable than reaching up. And I'll give you an example. Like in our little world of YouTube, take the best YouTube vlogger, like David Dobrik.
David, yeah, I was going to say.
Casey Nice. Everyone in David Dobrik's crew is less successful than him. He brought them up to his level and they built an empire together. Even take your boss,
Yeah.
Arlen.
My boss.
You know what you say. You might throw your...
He's my friend.
Yeah, he's your friend.
I guess you could say boss, but yeah.
He sells a course that's literally based on reaching up. It says, surround yourself with more successful people, with higher quality friends. But I even believe that his success comes from the fact that he's reaching down to all these people and bringing them up to his level and building an empire, reaching down.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get your opinion on reaching up versus reaching down, because you are someone who has such successful relationships. Everyone wants to be in your videos and be surrounded by you. And not only that, when I reached out to Jack, I was just a kid on the internet. I had way less subscribers than him.
Yeah,
way
how we met.
way worse videos.
Yeah.
And you just poured into me, bro. Like, you literally spent hours on the phone reviewing my videos, and you gave me advice, and you mentored me, and you poured into me for no reason other than just to help me out. And I think that says a lot about your character. And I want to get your opinion on reaching out versus reaching down.
Well, when you reached out to me, I saw the heart and I saw the value in that, and I also saw that like you were determined.
Yeah.
You dropped out. That's something that was very relatable to me at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things when you reach down is, it's a balance, first of all. But when you do reach down, you have to look at what these people actually have. Like a lot of times they don't have a lot of like outside value essentially, but on the inside, they have a lot of heart. They have a lot of, they're just really good socially. Maybe they're like funny. Maybe they're just really outgoing and down to do things. Whereas if you reach up to someone, they've already like figured it out. They're already in their own pathway, and it's just harder to. What were you gonna say?
I have an interesting point on this. When you reach out, even if someone lets you in their crew and they say like, "Oh, I believe in this kid," like, if you reach up, you're now on the outside of an already built team.
Yeah,
it's true. Like, yes, you're getting invited and you're making it and you get to hang out with successful people, but you're on the outside. Whereas if I reach down and bring a bunch of people up to my level and we build an empire together, then it's like we're all like, I'm the core of the team.
Yeah.
And that's just an interesting point. And the other thing I want to say is I remember very vividly when I DM'd Jack. He was being nice and he was responding, but it was like once a day or like taking a long time to respond. And I remember I reviewed one of his videos and I was like, I'm going to shit on his video. And I was like, he's either going to be like, why the hell is this kid with 500 subscribers telling me how my video can be better?
Yes.
Or he's going to say like, this kid knows what he's talking about. Yes. And you took it very, like I took a risk. I was like, he's either going to hate me or he's
Don't hate a yes man. That's very good.
And from then on, he respected me. I could tell that the respect shift switched when I took that risk. And,
my trainer right now, this is wild that you actually brought that up, because literally yesterday I was training with my now trainer Lou, who also trains with my friend Arlen, and he was telling me a story about how he got to train with Kanye.
Yeah. Oh, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Kanye before had like trained with the top LA Calabasas trainers, Hollywood trainers that like train with Kim Kardashian, his wife at the time, and like are technically the quote unquote best of the best.
Yeah.
But Lou knows that he is the best.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need to search for that and be like on the internet like, oh, I'm the best trainer, you should work out with me. Doesn't need to network and be like trying to get these top people that are like the athletes or the Lakers or whatever. He even got offered to train the Lakers and he turned them down, which is funny because he has a lot of clients that he just loves and he actually like enjoys his craft.
Yeah.
But it was wild one time when Kanye's manager reached out to him because he had a friend that was training with Lou, and Kanye's manager now got in shape because he was working with Lou, and Lou knew, he like literally manifested this, told me this. He's like, Kanye's gonna call me at some point and he's gonna be like, I want to train with this guy.
Yeah.
So, sure enough, like 3 months after his manager was like working with Lou, Kanye wants to work out with Lou. And so Kanye was like, can Lou, can you meet me in Calabasas or Malibu at like 6 p.m. on Thursday?
Yeah.
And Lou was like, no, you can come to me this Saturday at 5 a.m. in Venice.
Wow.
And straight up to Kanye's face, he was like, he told Kanye's manager, he's like, you need to tell Lou to come to me. I'm not going to him. I could not give less of a crap. Like, he needs to come to me. So then Kanye was like, I've never had someone tell me that before. His manager was like, dude, you can't tell Kanye that. That's like, it's Kanye West.
Yeah.
Like, you have to take his offer. And Lou was like, no, I don't care. So then Kanye took it and came out to Venice and worked out with Lou. And Lou took his phone within the first 2 minutes. He's like, Kanye, I need your phone.
Wow.
You have 15 minutes with me? He does these 15-minute workouts. They're like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And Lou's been doing this for so many years. And he does these 15-minute workouts. Kanye came and Lou was like, Kanye, you have 15 minutes with me. You must be dedicated for these 15 minutes or this is like, why are we even doing this? So give me your phone. And then Kanye worked out with him and was like throwing up after. But
wow.
dude, so essentially just don't be a yes man to anyone. And that's something I I did respect when Ozzy first reached out to me is he literally like, what is it called? You
Tore apart.
Yeah, you tore apart my video and I was like, no one's done that before. So that was good.
It's I mean, the lesson that I've always been taught is you have to add value, and it's hard to add value being a yes man. There is a time and place for it. Like if you want to hype someone up before they do something and you need to give them that confidence. But otherwise, the value is like you have to criticize, and you want the type of friends who are open to criticism. Like if you had been pissed off at me and been like, why would you do that? You wouldn't even be the type of person that I want to be friends with. Yeah, because it's like you don't want to better yourself, and you also have an ego that like this person has nothing to add to me because they have less subscribers or whatever.
Yeah.
And going on the Kanye and Lou thing, I find that there's a quote. I'm a big quote guy, and this quote I heard a long time ago that I've seen it so true in so many circumstances, and it basically says, negotiations are won by whoever cares less. And so like in this situation, it's like Lou's like, hey, you can work out on my time or I don't care. So he literally cared less than Kanye, and now he got to work with Kanye.
Yeah, when you're reaching up, you need to know your own value. And you need to stay true to yourself. Don't be a yes man. So back to that question of like, what do you think is the right way to go about it? Should you reach up? Should you reach down? I think you need to do both to be successful, actually.
Yeah.
But there's the right way of doing both. When you're reaching down, you need to look for the heart. You need to look for people who are like in it for the right reasons, or just have like some really cool qualities to them that are very special. But when you're reaching up, you need to know your own worth, and you need to not be a yes man.
Yeah.
Because if you're a yes man, then people who are above you are just not going to respect you. They're like, oh, you're not on my level. Sorry.
The other like interesting point about that is that there's like everyone, the point that I was trying to make is everyone's trying to reach up. So everyone is to a degree a yes man. They're reaching up because they like you, they admire you. Yeah. And so if you are not willing to take a controversial opinion or try to like say something different, then you're not going to stand out. It's like you just, and that's why another thing with the reaching down thing is it's not always about like finding someone to come on your team and you reach down. It's like when you just invest in helping others, I feel like it comes back to you. It's like a soul thing.
Yeah.
It's like there was a good chance that Jack heard me out and he helped me in all these ways, and that we just drifted apart and maybe we didn't stay friends or anything. But I felt like it like it would come back to you in some way. Like it's just like your type of I think also another thing about this too is that people notice when you're someone who reached down and you help others.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, and then people will want to help you subconsciously because they're like, damn, that guy's a light to all the people around him. I can't go and be a light to Kanye right now. For example, if I'm Lou,
okay,
but if Lou is being a light to Jack and Arlen Moore and Kanye's manager, and then now Kanye notices him because he sees that he's helping all these other people, and now he notices that light. It's like you're a flame and you're lighting all these people on fire next to you, and then all of a sudden some big shot sees and goes, I want to be a part of that campfire, you know? Yeah. I think it's interesting.
When I did my vlogs, all I did was pretty much reach down. Yeah, I know the value in just having friends, and like that was the whole deal of it, was because my younger self didn't have friends and was very like not confident and stuff, and so I wanted to show that. But the way I showed that was, I mean, I guess it was reaching down, but it also wasn't. I also just didn't have anything at the time, really.
Yeah.
So like I reached out to my friend Adam. I had my roommate Kyle.
Yeah.
I got all these guys together that I knew would be good for a vlog.
Yeah.
Because I knew when I was gonna go to USC, I wanted to make a vlog like every single day. I was like a college vlogger. That was literally my dream.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to like all these guys to like dorm with me, knowing that they would be good for the videos, and it literally worked perfect.
Yeah.
And now Adam is like one of my best friends. Tonight we got a DJ set and he's showing up. So,
and it's again like you live in LA, you could have been like, I'm gonna try to get biggest YouTuber in my videos. I'm gonna try to do.
I did try that actually at one point, and it didn't work. It just, like for example, I got an offer one time to like work on Brent Rivera's video. It was like the Squid Games video. Yeah. And when I first moved to LA, I was like, oh my God, like Brent Rivera wants to work with me. I can do this. Like, this is going to be crazy. People are going to think I'm like literally at the top.
Yeah.
And I did the Squid Games video, and like, I won't get into actually my thoughts about it, but anyways, it didn't feel like it wasn't as fulfilling. It wasn't me as like something as like reaching down to like my true friends who have their hearts in it. Who are just like, I'm down for the ride. Let's go.
Hey, it's almost I feel like the higher up, the more like transactional it is. It's like, okay, because I helped you with your Squid Game video. Now you're gonna appear in my vlog, but like we don't have real connection or like camaraderie. It's like it's a transaction. So you can probably tell by this point in the vlog, but me and Jack were both college YouTubers, both dropped out of college to be YouTube vloggers, and now we're both pivoting. He's becoming a DJ. I'm becoming a podcaster. Let's like go back to that YouTube journey. Why? Actually, let's start here. Address the elephant. Are you quitting YouTube vlogging?
I'm quitting YouTube until I just feel like I need to be back.
So you're quitting. Let me get this right.
I guess you could say I'm taking a break. I'm taking a leave of absence, just like I did from USC.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I dropped out. So yes, I'm quitting YouTube. Ready? Well, actually, right now I'm working with my friend Arlen, so we're actually going ham on YouTube.
Yeah, go watch Arlen's videos if you want.
I am not quitting YouTube in that sense. Continue.
Would it be fair to say that you were quitting the rat race of YouTube? That
yes.
You're no longer uploading weekly. You're no longer caring about metrics, and maybe one day you'll feel like making a vlog and you'll do that, but it's not.
I think the metrics and the algorithm is like 10%, like actual like algorithm techniques and a bunch of stuff that like they teach you from like YouTube tech, like Creator Now.
I did that. Guilty.
Sorry. But I think 90% of it is literally just what comes from within and who you are as a person and storytelling.
Yeah.
And if you can develop those skills just without thinking about like the concept of, I'm not going to get into it. Today we're going to Antarctica and we're buying 20 million Orbeez and we're filling the entire continent with, that was a little, that's too far, but
it's all spectacle. It is. What you're trying to say.
It's stupid.
I think like me and Jack, I want to touch on this. Me and Jack, both in high school, were lonelier kids. And I heard this quote from Matt from yesterday. Matt left yesterday. And he came on a podcast and he said, a lot of creators and entrepreneurs are in a world and they feel like they don't belong. Like in the sense we felt like maybe we didn't have friends or we felt lonely. And so you go on YouTube to create your own world, to make a place that you do belong. And back in the day, like I would come home from school and I'd watch YouTubers, and I feel like those people were my friends. They were the people I related to the most. They were the people I looked up to. So it was an easy decision for me to say, "Oh, this plane's flying over."
Yeah, we're in the middle of nature. Well, that's not really nature, but that's LA nature.
Yeah. I don't want to lose the street at all. But it was so easy for me in high school to be like, I want to be the same light on YouTube that their other YouTubers were for me. Like I wanted to be that friend for lonely kids that I looked up to. But it seems like not that that doesn't exist on YouTube anymore, but it's so like it used to be the norm. Everything about YouTube used to be being authentic. And now it's all about how do I get the best watch time? How do I do the biggest spectacle? How do I, it's not what we like grew up with.
Yeah, it is changing a lot. And we were talking about this on the hike, but I see YouTube as a platform.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's a platform. And before I used to think like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to like do the cool things that YouTubers get to do. Like that was like the job. But at the end of the day, YouTube is just a platform. It's a way to express something. It's like a place you can put your mission and drop it and like share it with the world.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the core, if you don't have the mission behind it,
Yeah.
there's really not much to it. And you'll fall off. Like there's a lot of YouTubers who've gone up and down and like they maybe they blew up really fast, but they're irrelevant now because they didn't have a core. They weren't really like doing too much below the surface. And I will say that core for me is never leaving. And so it just needs a different platform.
Yeah.
And I think it right now right now in the last like 3 years have been really difficult to do that on YouTube.
Yeah.
With the style of stuff that I want to show to people. And also I'm still growing, so I'm still figuring out that core more. But now I've transitioned it into DJing, and I think there's just a way to really excite people and show these qualities and things that used to be very difficult for me growing up within music and within DJing. And I think I have this big master plan that I'll go over at some point during this podcast. But I plan to come back to YouTube or whatever the platform is at the time in like 5 years. No, that's too long. That's way
In the future.
in the future. At some point, I want to come back to YouTube. I just had a voice crack. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Whatever.
Still growing. I want to come back to YouTube and really share this journey of becoming a DJ and inspiring people in a different way that's never been shown within the music industry, but never been shown within the DJ space, EDM space. And that's just like all these qualities and values I've had my entire life that my parents have instilled in me, that my friend Arlen has taught me. I want to bring into DJing and bring into this new platform and to share with people a different perspective and to really inspire. And I think all my skills that I built from YouTube, especially with like the whole vlogging thing, is almost unprecedented in the DJ space. Like there's a few of them out there right now. I know Martin Garrix has a vlog as well as David Guetta, but I watched both of them and there's still like, there wasn't enough substance behind it. It was very much like showing, oh, I'm at this cool show, next show. Now I'm going to the new show. Now I'm flying an airplane like a private jet. It's like, it's all cool, but like what's actually there underneath?
Yeah.
And I think Martin and David sometimes showed like some true heart and like tried to inspire people and just like really get to what's under the surface. But the way I made my vlogs came from that complete core of like, I'm here to help people. I'm here to inspire people. And so if I can show that and also use my skills in like DJing or skills in like videography and filmmaking and just like outsource that and just be a DJ, it's going to be like the craziest thing that's like ever going to face the earth.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool.
Since you're on a flow, let's just dive into that. How do you... So, from my understanding, because I don't know your plan too much, is you have these values that don't align with party culture.
Yeah.
You used to be a party blogger, just to give the viewers some, and you
Yes.
did a lot of videos partying, a lot of drinking. And actually, in your last vlog that I watched, you said, "This is my last vlog being a degenerate."
Yeah.
Why'd you say that?
Because it's my last vlog being a degenerate.
But
It's my last time being a degenerate.
do you feel like
I'm changing.
that's not who you are anymore?
No,
Who are
it
you?
never was who I was.
Explain.
When I grew up, my parents, I mean, I grew up in a very blessed household and had great family and great parents. And I was so sheltered from the world. And I always thought of that as a bad thing, as like, why can't I see anything? Like, why am I not allowed to watch PG-13 movies when I'm like 15 years old? I'm like stuff like that really confused me, and I just wanted to explore the world. I literally just wanted to be a rebel once like senior year of high school hit, and then going into college. I wanted to do everything that like I wasn't raised to do, because I think it's partly because of that.
Yeah.
And the reason that my parents did that is because they realized how scary this world is and how like messed up a lot of things are. And I thank them for that. I definitely think when I raise kids, I'll do it slightly differently. And actually like show them the world in certain ways, but try to instill in a cool way that like these things aren't cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe the world will be different by then, but I doubt it. But they taught me, I mean, they sheltered me from the world. So I went into like a big rebel stage where like now going into college, I wanted to party every single weekend. I wanted to like get with the hottest chicks. Like that's what it was all about. I wanted so much validation. I wanted to like show the world that like I'm cool enough to be there.
Mm.
And then I realized like recently in that vlog, this was about 6 months ago ish, I started to like, no, actually it was about a year ago. I started to kind of like, I guess you could say come to God, but and also I'd love to talk about religion really fast too. Because I've gotten into that as well.
One topic at a time.
Yeah. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
I kind of just started like realizing what everything actually was. And I started to see past like the past the surface of everything. And I was like, why do people party? Why? What is the point of all this? And I think for a lot of people, they don't actually have a reason. They just do it as an escape from their, you know, day-to-day life that is very mentally challenging and hard, and they want to get away from that. And I think the quality of life for the common person right now is just so tragic and very bad. And partying has become this thing that like is very degenerate.
Yeah.
However, there's something so special about it that I'm trying to bring to this new space in DJing, and that is music and community.
Yeah.
However, I also know that like there's like, you know, so let's say like gospel music or like alternative music and country that talks about like really good, awesome things. I just went to Stagecoach and like literally Chris Stapleton brought his wife out on stage and like started singing and brought his wife and like, it's like, oh my God, this is my wife, everybody. And like, it was really awesome. It's cool. But I also like to, you know, listen to crazy music like EDM and just get like super hype and like run through a wall. Like that gets me excited and like I want to dance and move around. But a lot of times in that music, either the lyrics are just like mind-boggling when you actually think about it, or there's just so much such a aroma or such a, what do you call that, like a stigma around it being like very degenerate, very
I jump in here.
Yeah, go ahead. So I'm trying to change that.
Sorry, there's two things I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Is I was in a frat at San Diego State University, and I had the same story arc as you, like lonely kid in high school, became super confident and popular in college, partied it out, and then I kind of didn't enjoy it anymore. Partying was not fun to me, and I started going to every frat party sober. I started just not relating to those people. and I would go like less and less and less until it got to a point where I would maybe go to a party once every 3 months. And I would see people that were my friends, but they weren't like my close friends. And I would tell them like, hey, I don't really like partying anymore, but it's so like nice to see you. And they would always respond to me and say, dude, I don't really like it either.
Yeah.
And I would think,
no one really likes party. When you actually ask people about it.
So hear me out.
It's the saddest thing.
These people all the time, I visit my frat like once every 3 months, and these guys would tell me, I don't really like it. But subconsciously in my head, I would be like, I didn't say this to their face, but I was like, if you don't like it, why do you go every week?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out this answer. And I think I figured it out, is the sense of like, in this online world, there's very little place to, like, connection is a human desire. It's a human need.
It is.
And some people who aren't willing to join clubs, they have stigmas about clubs, or they have stigmas about taking risks or talking to strangers. Party culture is kind of the last place they can find community. And so it's like, they don't even like it. They don't like the drinking or the culture behind it, but it's just like they have no other like place for community. And
I wholeheartedly agree. It's really sad.
And the other thing I wanted to touch on is, I wanted to ask you if you kind of had this like story arc as well, because I know we had similar story arcs. Was when you were in high school, you're like more of a, I'll speak for myself. When I was in high school, I was more of a lonely kid, and I had the same kind of, my parents sheltered me a little bit, and when I got off to college, I became more confident, and I partied, and I did these things, and it's kind of like, in a way, you're kind of emulating what's like the coolest people in high school were the kids that party. And you kind of like get to that place where you're finally cool, you're finally confident, and you're like emulating what you've been told is cool, until you become so confident in yourself that you realize it's actually not cool.
Yeah.
And that I can be someone, we're both at the point where we're so confident that we can lead to the new charge, which is the cool thing, is not partying now. And I always say this, that things aren't cool. Like when someone sagged their pants for the first time, that wasn't a cool thing to do. But because, this is what I say, things aren't cool. Cool people make things cool. So when the hottest rappers started sagging, it's a freaking weird trend. When the hottest rappers started sagging, it became cool.
Right.
Not because the act of pulling my pants down and showing off my underwear is cool. It's because cool people made it cool.
Yeah.
And I think that me and Jack are both in this place where he wants to do it with DJing, and I kind of want to do it with podcasting, where we want to make values, like these values that aren't in party culture, we want to make them cool.
Yeah. Happiness and confidence comes from within, not from the outside, at least from the start. Because a lot of times these people who are go ahead.
Yeah.
We're out in the middle of a walkway. We literally set our camera up on a trash can. So someone wanted to throw trash away.
They're so nice. Like, nice. Trash away. We're like, go for it.
So where I was going with this is, these people that are just very stuck don't have that happiness and confidence from within. And it's very hard to.
You say like a lot of people validate themselves with like partying, or like with hookups, or with achievements. Even and one of the things that I made the mistake of, and maybe you did this too, was that I got over the party culture thing. So I got over drinking and all the stuff that comes with that, but then I switched it for one bad habit for another bad habit, which was putting all my value in work. And it's not that it's bad. You should be someone who works hard, but I then put my value in, am I uploading videos? Am I gaining subscribers? Am I growing? And so I left college to thinking that like, oh, I would have all this time to make more videos and to make better vlogs. Mm-hmm. But then I had this pressure of, well, now I left college, so my parents want me to make money. So now I need to care about my metrics on YouTube, because I need to make money. And so now I'm hyper analyzing every video on its performance. And it wasn't about the art anymore. It wasn't about creating. It was about, I was validating myself by the numbers, by the work, not by like
Yeah, I get that. And I got my point back.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
speak.
so this ongoing trend that we keep talking about, everything comes from within.
Yeah.
You can't influence people in the right way unless it comes from within and you're very happy and confident from your heart and from within your body. So Ozzy and I are getting very close and almost pretty much have reached that inner happiness where like now we're at a point where we can actually go out and inspire people. We can actually make a really good change. And so one of the grand visions I see with DJing and then going back with like vlogging and coming back to whatever platform at the time of whenever I'm becoming one of the biggest DJs in the world, I'm gonna be cool enough to actually inspire a big change in the party culture.
Yeah.
And actually bring back the core of it and why it's so special. And that's music and community. And, you know, when you're dancing with a bunch of people that are on the same wavelength and it's just something so special and everyone's happy and smiling.
Yeah.
You don't need drugs. You don't need alcohol for that. You can literally just do that with your own energy. And so many people don't quite understand that and they're not able to enjoy a party from within.
Mm-hmm.
So once I'm at a place where I'm cool enough to actually inspire, I'm so excited. Like the world is just not ready.
Do you have you might not have an answer to this, but do you have like a vision of how you would, because you know the type of people who go to DJ sets and like what they value. Do you have a vision for how you'd make them, like how you would change their values or how you would set up your events in a way that brings that?
It starts with myself.
Yeah.
I have to be a role model to these people. So when I'm going to clubs and I'm performing a late night set and it's like, let's say it's my birthday, for example, they're like, dude, you gotta like take a shot with everybody. Like, you gotta do this. But I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, but I'm here for business. Like I am literally here to DJ, to provide you guys a great time, to enjoy music and share a really cool moment and cool night with you all. But I'm sorry, but I'm not taking a shot. I'll literally just be like, no thanks.
Well, to challenge you a little bit more, I know there's DJs. Steve Aoki has talked about this, where he's talking about he's gotten to a point where he doesn't drink his shows anymore.
David Guetta doesn't either.
But they still aren't setting that precedent for the audience.
Yeah, and I'd have a problem with that.
And how are you going to set it? I know you're not going to have a perfect plan right now.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I'll figure out.
Yeah.
But once again, too, it's like the music that you bring to these stages. Music is programming.
Yeah.
Everything you do as a kid, every show you watch, everything they teach you in school is literally programming you to act in the real world once you like are actually capable, like, think, I guess. So when I'm making music, when I'm playing music, I want to transition it more towards like good things. Like there's a song that I'm opening up with tonight, and it's called it's called More Love.
Yeah.
And it's like the world needs more love.
Yeah,
and it's like it's just like good stuff, you know? It's great. And that when people listen to that, they're like, yeah. Good. Cody Ko, for example, it was so funny. He's a comedian. This kid is he's not a kid. I don't know why I said that. But he became a DJ just recently. And he made a song and it's called Moderation.
Oh yeah, I heard this. I know what you're talking about.
And it's like he started playing it at the club that he was performing at. And the goal was like for people to like listen to the lyrics and be like, wait, what did that just say? Yeah. And the song is like, let me get one puff. Yeah, one puff. Not two more. Nothing more because I gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, it's like let me take one shot. Yeah, and then drink a bottle of water. Yeah, it's like what? That's interesting. Like inside.
Yeah, but you also like it can't be cringe. Like the way you go about like making music, like you can't.
I think he did it more for
he did it from a comedic stance, and that's what made it good. But like if I'm just making constant music that just talks about like stuff like that, it's just not gonna hit with the right people. It's not gonna make a change. So like it's got to be cool.
It's a lot why it's interesting because in like my church community, there's such a I don't want to say my church community, in the Christian community, there's like a thing about like not listening to secular music.
Yeah.
And I never really got it, but I've noticed as I've become more religious, I just don't like it as much because
Yeah.
I don't know how I ever felt that I related to it, but now I know that I don't relate it to it. Where it's like they're talking about like gang banging and murdering and doing drugs and shooting, and like I don't do any of this. And it's like, you know, like when you listen to a heartbreak song and you just have your heart broken and you're like singing every lyric because you relate to like, yeah. And it's like, but people listen to this gangbanger music all the time. It's like, it's not that it's not good. Sometimes it sounds great, but it's like, I don't relate.
You got to think of what the point of that music is, and it's like the core is to like be confident.
Yeah.
To as unsexy as it sounds, like it's to become confident, like run through a wall, like you're the man, type thing, and it, like just it makes me cringe. But let's move on to a new song.
I wanted to cover. We did cover this a little bit, but I think we should talk about more.
Yeah.
How did you go from being fat and lonely and depressed to being confident and lighting up the room? And like, I mean, you as well as myself, I feel like had complete 180 turns. How did you get from that inner, like, you didn't have that inner confidence, and now you have it, and you're fit and you're light up rooms? How did you go from complete 180?
It comes from within.
But how do you get?
How do I get that?
Because there's a lot of people who don't have.
Yeah, I know. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to like do things you're very passionate about. And you need to just like, if you're a dude, you just got to become a man. Like you literally just like, put into your mindset, like, I have a duty to like be strong, to like help my family live on and on and on. And like, this is stuff I'm like still exploring too. But like before, even like last year, I kind of felt like a soy boy. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of aspects. Like I would just like hang around like girls and stuff, and then just like spend countless hours and waste so much time getting nowhere.
Like trying to like
trying, but like not trying to do things, but like like being the gay best friend that isn't gay.
I was there.
Yeah,
for a while.
Like it's weird. It sucks. But it's like I would rather just focus on the mission and then let everything else flow into my life. Literally, I am the product. Think of it as like you are the source.
Yeah.
Nothing on the outside matters. You need to work on yourself. You need to get there yourself. So that's kind of how I found it. And I credit a lot of my development in that area to my friend Arlen Moore. And I will literally just say this, like, check out Arlen Moore stuff if you're in a position where you're just not confident and you're just very like, you know, you're in a bad headspace, you're in high school, you're in college, and like things just kind of suck. Just check him out and just like see where it takes you. But
I'll jump in here. There's this Alex Hormozy quote that I saw recently, and I like it a lot. And it says, "You do not become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You become confident by having an undeniable stack of evidence that you are who you say you are."
Yeah.
So let me explain this a little bit. Is that I know you as well as myself. Is that I literally had no success on YouTube in the sense that like after 4 years I had 500 subscribers. You're approaching 10,000, which I would say you might.
So weird.
But let me address this because I'm not going to leave it at that. It's not numeric. This podcast focused on soul wealth, so I'm not going to leave it at that. But you think of that like, and I just said it, like you think of it as like not being successful. But the truth is, doing YouTube vlogs for 4 years actually made me more successful than I could ever imagine because you're working towards something. It's the same thing that happens when people start going to the gym. You're working towards something and you're proving to yourself that I am a person of value. Whereas like when you're just someone who does your assignments and you go and drink on the weekends, and like sometimes you hit those existential crises, like I don't belong to be in my position. Whereas it's like I know no matter what my numbers say, no matter if this podcast has 3 listeners, I know that I am valuable because I have time and time again invested in myself. Where it's like I've bought courses to improve myself, just like Jack. I've gone to the gym. I've made videos. I've created, and I read books, and I've done everything to improve myself. And it's like that constant thinking of how to be better. And you see it. It might not manifest in money. And this is the soul wealth aspect of this podcast. It might not manifest in wealth, possessions, or achievements, but I promise you, if you invest in yourself and on your inside, it will manifest in your relationships. And that's what I tell people. I'm relationally rich. Like Jack is such, I could have never dreamed in high school that I would have friends like Jack, or that I would have friends like Chris and Lucas and like all these people. And when I look at my relationships, I genuinely feel like I'm rich in the soul. And that's like it's a good place to be.
Yeah. Nailed it right on the dot. You got to invest in yourself.
Yeah, investing in yourself is a big one.
And also too, I also thought this is like moving into also on the topic of relationships and like girls, for example.
Yeah.
I always thought like, oh, I got to be exactly where I need to be in order to have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I need to be 25, need to be the best, like the biggest DJ in the world. I need to have I need to have 10 million subscribers on YouTube. I need to literally be exactly where I want to be in life in order to let someone else in.
Yeah.
But it's not true. You literally, all you need is to be successful on the inside. Like you need to literally just be like, you need the foundation. And once you have the foundation, I feel so much more confident and comfortable with like being open to a relationship. I don't have a girlfriend right now, but I'm open to that.
That's really interesting you say that, because I still have that struggle where like dating my last girlfriend, I felt a lot like, damn, I'm not who it's hard because I'm very happy with who I am, and I don't want to like destination happiness, but it's like a lot of like, oh, like I'm not making money yet, or like I need to I do have that feeling of like I need to be somewhere before I like dive into a relationship. And it's nice to hear you say that. It's something that I can learn to do.
And then the next step I had was once I realized like, okay, like I'm comfortable with allowing a girlfriend into my life if it happens.
Yeah.
Then I thought like, oh, she has to be you should check off I'm box, bro. Really, if she doesn't, like, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
And these are extremely valuable years in my life.
Yeah.
My 20s are so important. If I fuck these up, like, I'm screwed for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, I'm only going to have a girlfriend if she marks every single box. And recently, in the last like couple weeks, there's this guy named Solbra.
Yeah.
And he was on a podcast with Arlen, and he was talking about this exact thing. And he was like, yeah, you could think like, oh, you need to find a girlfriend that checks off every single box, but like that's not out there.
Like, no one's perfect.
And another thing that Arlen said too to me was, you're gonna meet a girl, and say like you meet her and I'm 21, by the way. Say I meet her like this year or something.
Yeah.
5 years from now, I'm gonna be a completely different person.
That's a big one.
So finding someone that checks all the boxes right now.
Yeah.
If they're not able to adapt to however much I change, if I'm not able to adapt to who they are, like it's not gonna work out.
That's really interesting.
Isn't that like crazy to think about?
Dude, I literally interviewed this like 80-year-old man, and I didn't post this interview. It's just a podcast I did for fun. And he told me this almost the exact same thing you said. He said, I don't understand all these young people getting married or getting in serious relationships because, and he asked me, he said, do you feel like you know yourself and you're 100% developed in who you want to be? And even sitting here saying like, I feel good, I know that I have so much to grow.
Yeah.
I have so much to grow. And so I told him no. And then he said, well, why would you expect to find the right person for you if you aren't even the right person for yourself?
Yeah.
And yeah, that is really interesting.
But it also doesn't come from like outside success.
Yeah.
Because I see it as, if you find a girl at 21 years old, she's just going to be there from the beginning.
She can also grow with
She's going to grow with you. She's going to help you grow, actually.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned through a couple of friends who've had relationships. But I also heard this quote too, and I'm probably going to butcher the quote, but a woman's loyalty is tested from the beginning as a man is growing, and a man's loyalty is tested once they've made it on the outside.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like saying the women are like, they're tested in the fact that they stay with you.
Yeah, when you don't have anything on the outside, really.
And then a man's tested in the fact that he has all.
Once you've made it,
I'm
the top DJ in the world. I have 20 million options every single night.
Yeah.
I am coming back home to my girl.
Yeah, that's a good.
And she's also gonna come out to my DJ set. It's like one of my You know what's funny? I have like
bring her out like Chris Stevens.
I would, yeah, literally. That's like one of the things that I want to do,
because you're setting the tone in the audience. That like, hey, none of you girls can out.
Yeah. I don't see any big DJ doing that.
I met a lot of them.
I looked this up too. I was like, are DJs like married? Like DJs that are married.
Yeah.
And the only two that I found were Tiesto and Afrojack.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that odd? I'm sure there's more, but like,
but there's probably a reason for that. You're probably right.
It's like David Guetta. What is he now, 55 or something like that? He's still not married. He's still like performing in Vegas completely single. And I'm like, maybe he's happy doing that, and I'm sure he is, but like,
I mean, I wouldn't.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's interesting because I'm very open to like, living life with a person next to me like that.
I mean, Arlen talks about this a lot, and it's a very religious concept, and it's proven in divorce rates that the more you hook up with someone, your body count is directly proportionate to your likelihood of getting a divorce. And no matter if you're religious or not, I've never met anyone in my life who says, I want to get a divorce.
Yeah.
So it's like...
You want to see something pretty crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a note in my phone.
Okay. Well, this is good. This is good.
And this goes on for like ages. Like there's so many fucking qualities.
Bro, like, you gotta tell, not the reason.
So this was before. This was like 3 months ago. Okay, I had like all these qualities written down. And then after I heard the thing, after I read, after like Solbra and Arlen said that one thing on the podcast, I like cut it in like into like a fourth. And I was like,
that's a fourth?
So these are the only ones I value now.
What? Wait, can we read?
Yeah, I'll read. I'll just like read them all because I actually think this is very good. For
all right, wait. Let's explain what this is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jack has a list of qualities on his phone that his ideal girlfriend has to meet.
Yeah.
And he's gonna read some.
I'm not gonna read some. Some of them I'm not gonna say on here.
Just read like 3 or 5.
Number 1 is adaptability, and we just talked about that. She has to be able to be down for the ride, and we both have to be able to change.
I'll start reading them right now. I don't know. You want to say that, like?
Yeah. I also like when a girl is like able to light up a room. Like they have high energy, but they also can keep it low too.
Yeah.
Like I like a girl to be like smiley and happy and like can talk to people a lot like that. Super feminine. They must have a body count under 5. Hard take.
No, I agree.
Actually, I would say almost 3. I would say 3.
I agree, but a lot of people. Yeah.
Because like, actually, I'm not gonna get into that because this could go on forever. But there's so many reasons for it.
I mean, if you want a simple reason, you're more likely to get a divorce. So then that's
probably they're probably younger than me, and I'm 21. Let's see. Well,
while Jack's picking out qualities, I'll tell you my one quality that I think is the most attractive thing in a girl, and Jack, you can let me know. My number 1 quality for most attractive thing in a girl is innocence. When a girl is really innocent, like I don't know. It's just attracted to me.
Yeah, you also just kind of have a duty and like this feeling as a man to like you want to show the world to like.
Bro, we're gonna get this is so wrong right now, bro. Oh gosh.
Okay, so here's some more. They have a good relationship with art or some. They have some sort of passion that they get excited about. They're not just like some snowflake that like has nothing like to them. Like there's just nothing. There needs to be some substance. Also, she has like a lot of support for me and like what I do. Like she's gonna come out to my DJ sets. She's gonna like be very excited to travel and like do things with me. She's confident about herself. She's not too insecure. She has a great relationship with her dad.
Great relationship with family.
Her parents have a good relationship. She has a good family is a plus.
What? Wasn't in a sorority. Wasn't in a sorority at ASU. So that's funny.
Yeah, clean and tidy. Cause I'm pretty messy sometimes, but like acai bowls.
Let's move on. I want to stay on girls, but move away from.
Okay.
I want to say something. You had mentioned a time where you said you tried to get with girls, and I want to bring up that quote I said earlier. It says, negotiations are won by whoever cares less. Yeah. I found that to be not only true in business, but extremely true with girls. And when you try to win over girls, and there is like pickup artists or people who get girls, they'll tell you there's this formula. They'll say like, yo, you got to be confident and do this and this and this. Bro, I'll tell you from my perspective, the easiest way to really attract girls is to not care and focus on yourself. Yep. And they will notice.
They will notice when you are doing something really cool with your life. When you are passionate about something, you're following your dreams, and you're putting in the work day in and day out. They're like, wow, that's admirable.
Hey, it's like, dude, you literally stand out. It's like when there's a hot girl,
you don't even have to try.
When there's a super hot girl, guess what every guy's doing? Trying to win them over, telling them all their great qualities, being yes man. And then if you're there and this is the only things I would say for getting girls is focus on yourself. And then when you're with that person, just have fun. If you can be someone that a girl always has fun with.
You know, there's a quote that says girls just want to have.
Oh, they just wanna. Sorry, was that cringe? Just wanna. Yeah. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Any more?
We're about across an hour.
Frick. Okay, I did want to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
One.
Still got time.
2 last things.
Yeah.
All your vlogs start with a song. You're becoming a DJ, and the song says, "Do it for love." What does "do it for love" mean to you?
It's a great question. Doing it for love is that's what it's all about. I mean, if you're doing it for anything else, like, what are you doing it for?
That's literally, it's wealth versus soul wealth. You're either doing it for wealth, and soul wealth is love. So you're either doing it for wealth, you're doing it for the numbers, for the possessions, the achievements, the money, or you're doing it for love, which is creating relationships, the passion, it's your memories. So I believe that.
If you're on your deathbed,
oh my gosh,
and you look back on your life, like, what do you do it for? And if it's anything but love, like, it's probably not very fulfilling, and you're gonna be like, damn, I actually wish I had like a lot of love in my life, and I wish I had all these great relationships and fun and excitement, and I wasn't. Maybe you're like this multi-billionaire and all you cared about your entire life was making as much money as you possibly could. What did that do for you?
There's literally this story in the Bible where back in the Bible times, your wealth was like your animals and your plants. And so this guy becomes like rich. He gets like a bunch of sheep and stuff, and he builds a barn to host all his sheep and his livestock, and he's rich. And then he builds a bigger barn to host all his sheep and his livestock. He's rich, and he sits down and relaxes, and he's like, all right, time to enjoy all this wealth. He dies the next day, and then the story of the motto is like, it's like, what did you do it for? Wow. It's like, dude, today is never promised. And it's so funny that you brought up that example, because other than my first episode, which is the one you watched, I end every podcast the same way, and which is I ask people, I tell them, it's so crazy that you brought this up. Jack Bratset, when you die, you don't want people to say Jack Bratset was the best DJ in the world, had 1 million subscribers on YouTube. You want them to say Jack cared for people, or he loved people, or he did this or that. And so my question to you, and I think the best way to get the audience to think about soul wealth is to reverse engineer life. What do you want people to say about you when you die? So I want to ask you that. What do you want people to say about Jack Bratset?
Yeah, I mean, he impacted so many people's lives, and he changed. I think right now, one of the biggest things I want to be known for is like changing the entire party culture. Like, I want to be one of the forefront people that like change the entire perspective of it. And like, that would be something that lives on for generations and just makes our entire humanity so much better.
Yeah.
And I mean, I plan on having like a decently sized family too when I'm older. So that's just going to continue down and down and down. And I want to like inspire and instill in my kids that like to actually go after a mission that is important and actually like changes people's lives in a good way.
That's an awesome answer, bro.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a wrap on the podcast with Jim.
Let's go.
That was awesome. Oh, let's go.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Bro, I told you I hug him. All right, peace out.
That was good.